And we are at the Macacco. So the Macacco is going to be a very fun exercise to progress to. Now this is it's an acrobatic movement that's very unique to capoeira. You don't really see it outside of capoeira. So a lot of people that are not capoeiristas might want to try it as well, and that's fantastic. But us capoeiristas, it's a great movement to kind of master and to inject into your game, because it gives you awareness of that control of your body, and it expresses a lot of fun in your game. That's what's really cool about the Macacco, being upside down and just moving around. But the thing that I notice personally is I don't see a lot of players using this Macacco, this movement, and I kind of understand it's as we progress a little bit further through our acrobatic realm, these things become a little bit more dangerous and scary. And, you know, despite the stress on our wrists, on our shoulders, we don't want to injure ourselves. So keeping in mind that we've progressed from the beginning with the bridge, with everything that we saw thus far, we're adding more progressions to hopefully make you more comfortable, more confident in developing this movement. So without further ado, let's see a little bit of some progressions that we work together here to get more comfortable with the Macacco. So Chigri's going to start here on the ground, and what I'm going to ask Chigri to do is he's going to rock back and forth just like that, nice and easy, synchronizing his breathing. What we want to avoid is the disconnect between our hips and shoulders that kind of pop us and stop that momentum. So the idea here is to get that momentum. Once Chigri's comfortable here, he's going to rock not completely over himself, because I don't want to put the pressure on his cervical. He's going to pick one side, rock over his shoulder, and then he's going to try the next thing. You'll notice there's going to be one shoulder that's going to be easier to do than the other, but we don't want to do a barrel roll. The idea is to teach their nervous system to flop the hips above the shoulders. That's the very difficult thing. So the motor control that we want to develop is the hips above the shoulders. If we can teach the body to understand that that's normal, that's okay, that's not scary, then it's going to be a lot easier when we're going to start elevating our shoulders from the ground with our arms. So Chigri's going to be in the cocorina position here, and here he's going to be stretching out to the Macacco position. So what we're seeing here is shoulder extension here and hip extension. So getting used to being in this position. If you recall on our bridge progression video, when we start on the ground and bridging, a lot of times if we're training our capoeira, a lot of inflection of the legs, this is going to be tight. So get used to extending those hips so that it's easier to muster out that power when we're going to be jumping off the ground. So Chigri's just stretching here, locking his elbow. That's going to be very important very soon. And now that we're getting comfortable with that, without going too crazy, we're going to add just a little element of power. So he's going to pop the hips, land into the cocorina or the deep squat. So remember, we worked that deep squat for the reasons of the more advanced acrobatics. When we do fall, we tend to fall in the progression. So owning this position just makes us more durable for more reps. Excellent. Now, we're going to face our fears here. So what I'm going to ask Chigri to do, we're going to go to the wall. We're going to go into a bridge position, a ponche position. I want to clear things here that if you don't own the bridge, you can still practice this movement. If you recall from the video, if you cannot get extended elbows in the bridge position, then you elevate your feet either on a box or some kind of stable implement, or you put them against the wall. We want to be close to the wall because we will be using the wall to push off. But the most important thing is in the bridge position, we need those extended elbows. So Chigri's going to go into that extended here, because once he's going to push off, all the energy is going to go here. And if the elbows are flexed, he might crash his head on the ground because the energy is going to go to the weakest link flex elbow in this case. So we want to extend that. If the athlete doesn't own it, we elevate the feet either on the wall or on a box. Once we're comfortable here, extended elbows, we reach a leg. The higher we go, the easier it's going to be, and the lower it is, the more difficult or more energy that we're going to have to produce. And what this does here is it teaches our athlete to throw the hips above the body with the legs going one after the other in a position where our elbows are extended and all the force are going to be on both shoulders here. So this can be done with a mat, secured and you know, really progress and go easy. You can have partners, friends helping you out as well. But if you're alone, just be careful, but you can still do it alone as long as you're being careful and as long as you've done the progressions for your mobility and your shoulder and your stability work. Okay. Now let's do it. We're going to go to the Macacco. This is what we see and we do with most beginners, is we're going to take a Macacco and turn it into an AU. It could be scary to place both hands on the ground parallel, which is the ideal position of landing in the Macacco. So what I'm going to ask my athlete to do is they start in the position and they just simply express an AU, or a cartwheel in this case. Now, as they get more and more comfortable, their hands are going to try to land a little bit closer to parallel, and eventually we're going to land into parallel, which is going to be the expression of the full acrobatic movement here next to the other. There we go. And that's how we do it. That is the Macacco, an expression of hip extension with power, extended elbows, hips above the shoulders. So a great movement to do. I hope you guys practice. I hope you guys have fun with this. Let us know if this works for you. And I want to see more Macaccos in the rodas. I want to see everybody starting to try. That's the first step. If you have any questions, you let me know. And as always, we'll see you on the next show.